The Farrell household fell into a heavy silence after Marco revealed what he had seen in the study. Catherine, the family's only daughter and rightful heiress, lay unconscious on the desk while Clarissa raged behind a closed door. Downstairs, Holden and the three brothers, Marco, Noel, and Sage, tried to piece together the unthinkable possibility that their own mother had harmed Catherine. Noel and Sage were shaken. Though their relationship with Catherine was complicated, she was still their blood sister, the one child Clarissa had increasingly trusted over the past 6 months. They had assumed their mother was finally accepting her, perhaps even grooming her for full authority. The idea that Clarissa would suddenly harm Catherine left them confused and terrified. Holden, however, was the first to regain composure. Knowing the family rules and Clarissa's ambitions, he was certain of one thing: Catherine would not be killed. Clarissa might be ruthless toward others, even toward her adopted daughter Shiloh in the past, but Catherine was her biological daughter and the future of the Farrell family. Her rage had limits, and Holden believed she would sooner harm her sons than eliminate the heir she had spent years protecting. But Catherine's motionless state still weighed heavily on them. Marco replayed the scene in his mind: the broken cup, the stillness of Catherine's body, Clarissa's unhinged anger. Something terrible had happened, and whatever it was, it shook him deeply. Holden began to piece together the most plausible explanation. Clarissa must have drugged Catherine, not to harm her, but to neutralize her. Catherine had close ties with Liberty, someone Clarissa now viewed as a threat. Clarissa's only logical motive for drugging her daughter would be to prevent Catherine from warning Liberty about something far more dangerous. Holden suspected Clarissa was planning a direct attack on Liberty, a desperate and reckless move fueled by long standing resentment and recent events. Realizing the danger, Holden urged his sons to pack up their families and leave Jensburg immediately. Winter vacation provided a perfect excuse. They were to return to the Jansen hometown, far from the brewing storm. Holden's childhood home, a large 5-story property he had secured years ago, would offer them safety. The place belonged to the brothers jointly, and it was their best refuge now, away from Clarissa, away from the Farrell power struggle, and away from the consequences of whatever she intended to do. The brothers listened in disbelief. Their father, usually unconcerned with family politics, was suddenly insistent, almost desperate for them to escape. It was Sage who finally asked what had pushed their mother to such extremes. Clarissa had been in a terrible mood since returning from a mysterious trip. She had barely spoken, had skipped work, had refused food, and now this, drugging her own daughter. Holden hesitated, but the growing fear in his son's eyes forced him to reveal what he suspected. The truth he carried was heavy and shocking. He believed Clarissa had killed her own sisters years ago, women who were once the rightful heirs. Her long lost lover, the man who had been their aunt's trusted assistant, might still be alive. If he had resurfaced and been found by the powerful families in Wiltspoon, then Clarissa's darkest secrets were close to being exposed. If that truth came to light, Clarissa's reign as family head would collapse instantly. She would lose everything: her position, her reputation, and her protection. And with the Farrell clan already fractured, she would be surrounded by enemies from all sides. In such a desperate state, she could lash out unpredictably. Holden feared she might attempt to silence Liberty permanently, viewing her as the final threat to her legacy. Drugging Catherine was merely preparation. removing the one person who could intervene. The brothers sat in stunned silence, each processing the unraveling of their family. Everything they thought they knew about their mother, their lineage, and their future was crumbling. And somewhere upstairs, Clarissa continued down a path that could destroy them all.